Welcome to Better Speaking for Better Reader Interactions. My name is Alexa Shay, and this is a segment of the 2025 Authortube Writing Conference. I believe that the ability to speak and communicate well is an integral part of making connections with our readers. At the end of the day, that's what we as authors, writers, creatives of any sort, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to connect with people. We're trying to convey something. And the ability to communicate and speak, it's a very helpful skill, and not just for authors. Yes, excellent. Thank you for showing everyone my start bar computer. So this is what I will be covering today. I'm going to give you a more thorough introduction than just my name and why should you listen to me? What do I know about talking? I, the most talkative person I've ever met. I'm going to explain a little bit about a club called Toastmasters International that's specific to public speaking, and then I'll be sharing some general in-person and online speaking tips, and then some ways you can practice. And of course, as we do with all the Authortube Writing Conference sessions like mine, wrap up with a Q&A. So let's get started. Hello. So, hi again. I'm Alexa Shay. I'm an indie author of my debut novel, The Shield. I debuted in February. The Shield is a YA supernatural romance about two teens destined to fight each other for the fate of the universe, available wherever books are sold. And that's the last you'll hear about my book today. The much more important information about me is that I'm a member of a club called Toastmasters International. I have been a member for 7 years. It's an international public speaking and leadership club. And during my time with the club, I have placed top 3 in 11 different speech contests, and 7 of those were first place. I'm an experienced mentor in Toastmasters, so I'm pretty good at speaking and helping teach others to speak. Also, oh, he's already ran away. The cat came in. I could not catch him. I apologize to all the cat fans out there. So that's why you should listen to me. I'm fairly good at speaking, and I'm fairly good at coaching people too. Oh, good. I'm so glad that he was so quiet. So this is a quick bit about Toastmasters International. This club can help you become a better speaker and become more comfortable with speaking publicly. As I said earlier, it's an international public speaking and leadership club. There are online, in-person, or hybrid club options, so you can meet pretty much anywhere. My club, and I apologize, there's something in my eye. My club that I've been a member of is an online club. It meets once a month. It's a safe place to give speeches and to get feedback. Cider. So, this is Cider. It's a safe place to give speeches and give feedback. The thing that Toastmasters always say is that we're there to applaud you no matter what. Just getting up in front of people is terrifying for most people. Oh, look how popular you are, Cider. You're really throwing off my groove though, kitty. I wish you would have done this when I was practicing. But again, it's a safe place to practice and get feedback from people who've been doing it longer. You're given general speech prompts, and then you give your speech. There is a cost to it. It's $60 every 6 months, plus separate club dues. My club only charges $5 every 6 months, basically to keep the Zoom lights on. However, their online resources are free. If you go to toastmasters.org, they have podcasts, videos, articles, all sorts of different things about helping you be a better speaker and leader. And no LOEs, you will not be blessed by a gym sighting. He's locked upstairs with his food. So if you're interested in trying out Toastmasters, just go to toastmasters.org and click Find a Club. There are clubs that meet multiple times a week, some once a month, different times of the day. It's very varied, which is a horrible phrase, but I'm standing by it. I also have a YouTube playlist of videos that I made for my club that will help you be a better speaker. I will, at the end of this, be sharing a link to my website that has a link to all these different things, including this slideshow. So you'll be able to get any of the links that I mentioned in here. I forgot that I moved that so that my picture wouldn't be over it. So let's move into the actual general speaking tips. One thing I found really helps drive points home is using hand gestures. The trick is to use them to emphasize points. So when you're counting things out, if you're saying from all around the world, but the trick is to not make them like distracting. Don't be doing them in front of your face or weird stuff. Almost everybody has a tick they do with their hands or face or something when they're standing and presenting. Mine is I frequently fold my hands on top of my stomach and I do this weird sway thing. I've been pretty good at stopping it. Another thing to utilize is something called vocal variety. You vary your tone, pitch, volume, and pace to emphasize different things. So, if you're talking about something exciting, thrilling, you might talk like this, where it's faster and it's a bit louder, but my husband's asleep, so not that much louder. Or if it's something serious, maybe you'll speak a little softer, a little slower, a little less animated. Cider is upstairs screaming outside my husband's door, by the way. And if you're standing, it's generally a good idea to try to walk around a bit where possible. Presently, I'm choosing not to do that for this speech because I thought it would be more distracting than helpful. But I've actually won a contest at the highest level in the state because I used the whole stage. I went corner to corner and I went to different points to emphasize different points. If you use filler words like almost everybody in the entire world does, such as so, etc., one thing you can try to do is use thoughtful pauses instead. You obviously don't want to overdo the pauses if you're just sitting there going, people are going to wonder if you're okay. Are you panicking? Do you need help? But one thing that I do is I use a pause like I just did to avoid saying the filler words that I say most often, which of course is. And one way that I remember what I'm going to say in either an online video I'm filming or something like this, although I have the PowerPoint presentation or a prepared speech, is I remember how many things I'm going to say. If I remember that I have a list, I can remember to make sure that I hit all my points. I usually sort of have a main hypothesis, a thesis statement, if you will, and then 1 to 5 main points that support it. And I remember, oh, I need to say 3 different things. And that helps me remember. Oh, also, this is the point I literally just added 2 minutes ago. Notes or no notes, it's up to you. A lot of people need note cards. I actually find personally, and this is rare, notes very distracting. Having this PowerPoint does confuse me a little because I'm constantly wondering if I'm remembering the next bullet point. But I also have a coworker who can perfectly read something she wrote out word for word, and you'd never know she's reading it. It's up to you. There's no right or wrong, no matter what people say. Oh, yes. And some people do hate the waving hands. I have been called out for that, and I'm not going to stop. Be proud of it. So for some in-person speaking tips, this is a bit more specific for in-person. At a recent event I was at, I watched an author much more experienced than I was speak to people and always remember to ask their names. It seems so common sense. You're talking to someone, ask their name. But I don't generally ask strangers their names, but I noticed it helped her make better connections with people. Like, you just say, hey, what's your name? Oh, hey, Jim. What genre of writing do you like? What's your favorite book genre? You want to ask open-ended questions like that to get people talking. When we're at in-person events, you're not just trying to make a sale. You're trying to make connections. Either maybe somebody will feature you in bookish content. Maybe you'll meet another author and you two can help each other. There are a myriad of connections that you can make at in-person events, and it's not always about sales. I also do love a bulleted list. If making eye contact is difficult because it can be intense for a lot of people, try looking at people's foreheads just above their eyebrows. People won't know that you're not staring directly into their eyes usually. And if you're doing like a big group presentation, you can look above people's heads. People won't know if you're looking at their foreheads then either. For online speaking, which is what I am a bit better known for nowadays, back onto the eye contact, look into the camera to fake eye contact. It probably feels like I'm looking directly at you. I am not, obviously. I can't see you. That would be weird though, right? Use hand gestures like normal, but try to keep them in frame. You can't just be like this. No one's going to see that. Well, I have this wide camera, so I guess you can see that. But you can't see down here. Yes, stare at their unibrows, Eloise. Try to use some sort of microphone when you're doing online content, be it live streaming or filming. And it doesn't have to be something expensive. I usually use AirPods, which I acknowledge are more expensive. But I've actually found the clip-in mics that are like $10 to be even better than that. I'm using a plugged in microphone now because it's better than yelling at my laptop, but it just helps with audio, which helps you communicate better. And if showing your face is too intimidating, if the thought of doing what I'm doing right now terrifies you, that's normal. When I was younger, I was on my middle school's news team, and I was bullied pretty mercilessly for how stiff I was on camera and how monotone I was because I was so scared. And look at me now. But you can do voiceovers first. You can show pictures, images, whatever, and you voiceover and still make connections. Plenty of people do that successfully. You don't have to show your face unless you're ready to or if you want to. And as Kay said, you have to start somewhere. So here are some ways that you can practice public speaking. The thing to remember when practicing speaking is practice makes progress. You're never going to be perfect. Perfection is impossible, and you should give up that idea immediately. There's no such thing as perfect. Sorry, pressing the arrow was not working. The more you speak, the less scary it gets, or at the very least, your fear gets easier to work through. Before my first speech contest, I thought I was going to be physically ill. I couldn't eat. I was shaking like a leaf. And by my last one, my stomach still had butterflies in it, but I'm better able now to take that nervous energy and turn it into energy for the audience, for my topic. It just comes with practice. And again, I've been doing this for 7 years. Yes, this is the most painful piece of advice I'm going to give you. Film yourself and then watch it back. Note what you could have done better. Note what you could have said better. It is intensely painful. The first few times I did it, I wanted to cry, but it's what I did to prepare for those contests. I won. I watched myself. And I do see someone saying, tried holding the podium, all of that. I will say the first time I started speaking, I couldn't move. I couldn't do this sort of walk and talk, which I can't walk and talk right now. There's a stool there and I'm on a treadmill that's not moving, of course. But I was too scared to move. But the more I did it, the more I was able to start coming out from behind the podium. I was able to start communicating better. Oh, another way to practice, do live streams. If you do them on TikTok, you can just delete them and it's like it never happened. You can do YouTube lives and then switch the video to private afterwards. And then you'll get to look into the chat and you'll get to see, hey, this is what people are saying. This is how they're reacting. It's a really good way to practice. You can also film content to post and then never post it or post it. It's up to you. You can just delete and start over whenever, but watching that is very helpful. You can volunteer at different organizations. I know a lot of people's religious organizations have speaking opportunities, or if you do community outreach programs, you can be at booths at events reaching out to people, and that's great practice for author events too. Oh, this is a piece of advice I am giving that I have never taken. Many people have said trying to do improv or stand-up comedy is incredibly helpful for them to practice our ad-libbing skills, our ad hoc speech skills. I will never try it. You cannot make me. And of course, Toastmasters International. So we're about to head into the Q&A time. I would like to say, first of all, please don't forget to fill out the feedback form. That's how you can enter the giveaway. My book, The Shield, is available. Thank you. Oh my gosh, no, Firefox. I didn't even want you open. And now Firefox is trying to open because I was trying to click a notepad to put a link in the chat. I hope my moderators already did it. Let's see what people are saying. Eloise would be very good at improv. I would not. Oh, thank you. I was about to do it. So there's also these. You can sign up for my newsletter at alexisshays.com/newsletter. And much more interesting to everyone is if you go to alexisshays.com/author advice, I actually have a ton of stuff that I've made to help people. I've made a guide on how to self-publish. I have this slide deck and other slide decks about social media, about how to be a better speaker. I don't remember what the third one was. I have YouTube playlists. I have links to all the people I've used. It's a totally free resource. And of course, you can follow me virtually everywhere except for Twitter/X at author Alexis Shay. Now I'm going to look over. I've never had a heckler actually, Fiona. Oh yes, that would come in handy with smart mouth teas. Do I have any tips for when you speak faster than your brain can think of something to say? I have a heck of a time recording things in one take because of that. So, one of the interesting benefits of Toastmasters is I had a range of ages of people in the club, and many of them were decades older than me. I think the oldest was in their 90s, and a lot of them didn't appreciate how fast that I speak normally, which is very fast. I'm a very fast talker, and having that feedback consistently made it so that I slow down when I'm speaking. If I'm filming like right now, I feel like I'm speaking really slowly, but I'm not. I'm assuming this feels like a normal pace. It's really, again, just practice. You have to practice physically making yourself slow down. It helps people to understand you better. Some people have auditory processing issues. Some people just don't think at a million miles per hour, which sounds peaceful. And I wish that this was more like teams for me. Do I have any tips for any tips for breaking the habit of using filler words? One, have people tell you every time you use one. That will make you stop pretty fast. It gets very irritating. And there I just used one. But usually, if I feel like I'm about to say it, I do that pause instead. Really, it's just practicing it. And for me, I was so determined to win competitions because I'm hyper competitive that I worked very hard to mentally understand, oh, I'm about to say, pause instead. Look like I'm thinking, even though no thoughts here. I've done a lot of practicing to cut down on video editing time. I do everything. All my videos are generally 1 minute or less, and I always do them in one take because I hate video editing. I hate video editing with a mad burning passion, probably because I'm not good at it. Former perfectionist behavior. Question: I have ADHD and use note cards, but how do you remember not going off topic and following my brain? Ooh, that's a hard one. I am a person who goes on tangents. I failed my ADHD test. I have a lot in common with people with ADHD. Turns out I might not have it. And I think what I've usually done in the past is I practice so much that it becomes muscle memory more than anything. I've actually practiced today's presentation a good 10 times at least. But when I first started out, I would practice, gosh, way more than 10 times. And it was a way to make it muscle memory because if I'm talking to myself, I'm not going to go on tangents as much as if there's someone else in the room and my extroverted side gets very excited. I hope that helped. My model debate coach used to keep a sticky note with tallies every time we used filler words. Yes, we do that in Toastmasters, actually. There's an counter, and at the end, they report out who did what. Question: do you find your experience with speaking to groups helps at author events with speaking to someone one-on-one? I do. One thing that Toastmasters does is a thing called table topics. It's where you're asked a random question, you have a few seconds to think of an answer, and then you give, oh gosh, I think it's a 1 to 2 minute speech about the question. It's a very short speech. Yeah, it's 1 to 2 minute speech. Minimum 30 seconds, max of a minute 30. And working on those ad-libbing skills, those ad hoc speaking skills is incredibly beneficial. It's made it easier for me to speak to random people. Despite being an extrovert who loves to talk, I do have a touch of social anxiety when it comes to crowds. And I have found that practice to be very helpful. You could try getting like a random list of questions and just answering them out loud, or doing a live stream where you're chewing random questions and answering what you think, or taking random questions like this. I stick to my bolded list as best as I can to keep from derailing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Again, I just practice until it's aggressively muscle memory, but it is hard. It's very hard, especially when your brain wants to go on 5 different tracks at once. An introverted extrovert is an ambivert. Introvert and extroversion is a spectrum, just like almost everything else. Nobody is fully one or the other, except for me. When I took the test, I was 88% extroverted. And even then, I have my introverted side. Question: what's the biggest difference you've noticed between general public speaking and making short form videos? One thing that I've always hated about online speaking like this, such as when in 2020 during the fun times, Competitions became online. One big difference is I don't have the audience feedback. Like I have your chat, but I can't feel the energy. I can't look out in a crowd and see it how a person is reacting to what I'm saying. So when I'm making my short form videos, I'm just talking into the camera at myself. I don't know how people are going to react, and I find that very difficult. I actually so generally if I'm in person, I will place top 3 in a speech contest, but online contests, I really struggled because I didn't have that energy to feed off of. So I think that's the biggest difference for me. Yes, Eloise, shout out to experts who don't like people. I do like people. We are an interesting pair when we're together. Question: what would you suggest to someone that has problems doing short form content when you're used to having an audience to bounce off of? Just start, honestly. It was really hard for me in the beginning, but now it's easier because, again, practice makes progress. What I do is I set up my camera, and all my videos are 59 seconds or less, specifically so I can cross post everywhere because there are still a few apps that have a 1 minute time limit. And the timer helps me. I usually do take more than one take. The worst I ever did, the worst I used to do was maybe 20 takes, which is 1 minute videos, 75 takes. The video I made promoting Authortube Writing Conference took me 75 takes because I could not get it right. I kept forgetting things. I kept saying writer instead of writer. I don't know what that word is. I don't know where I was getting it from. It was frustrating. So, short form content is about learning to have time limits. I'm sorry I'm tying it back to Toastmasters again, but in Toastmasters, our speeches are all timed. Contest speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. And if you go above 7 minutes and 30 seconds, you're disqualified. Below 4 minutes and 30 seconds, you're disqualified. So I've been trained over the last 7 years to speak within time limits and practice within time limits. So if you set yourself a hard time limit and you keep doing it, eventually you learn how to condense and how to pay attention to the timer at top. Communication is about simultaneous feedback. I said that weird, but simultaneous feedback. So I agree. Video is much harder. Oh, I agree with Eloise. Difficult conversations over text are hard. They're also my preference to start things off because it gives me time to think, but you miss the interactions. Oh, 75. I kept track of how many takes it was because I had to go and delete all the videos, and it told me how many I was deleting. And this is embarrassing. I will say I am generally a fairly put together speaker. I've been doing this so long that I mess up. I usually just roll with it. By the end, I would stumble, I would do something wrong, and then I would scream a swear word. I was very glad I was home alone because it would just rage, and it was bad. Oh, I was reading and then somebody popped up. I want to have an average of 15 to 30-minute YouTube videos. I am not great at long form content only because I hate video editing. And that's why all my stuff is short form. I should have made blooper ones. Oh, Cider, are you back? Are you here to tell me? He wants me to come sit with him while he eats his breakfast. So here he is. Oh, you're welcome. I loved this presentation. Next year, I'm going to apply earlier so I get a spot that's later in the day. That's my big goal for next year's Authortube Writing Conference. Are there any other questions that I can help answer? We're getting close to the end. Yeah, his original social eating partner unfortunately passed away, and I didn't realize she was the linchpin holding together my life. Oh, thank you. He was done. Thank you, everyone. I guess last call for any more questions about public speaking, publishing. What's my favorite color? It's pink. Despite all the blue around my branding, it's pink. No, it looks like, so many thank yous. And thank you all so much for attending today. Again, don't forget to fill out the feedback form to enter the giveaway. You might win a signed copy of The Shield. And you can sign up for my newsletter and view all the different resources I've made available for free that do not need email sign up at alexashays.com. Oh, the feedback form. Oh, they just posted it. Oh, my moderators are so great. There we go. Oh, thank you, Eloise. I love Eloise's Maiden of Artemis, too. I love the secret project she's working on more right now, though. Yep, there's the attendee packet for anybody who needs it. And again, If you want to see my author advice or this slide deck, you can go here, alexisshays.com, which is a throwback to when I used it as an art storefront. So fun fact there. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions. Everybody has their links. Last call. Going once. Going twice. It is 8:25. Everybody have fun at the next session that you attend. Oh, thank you so much, Kay, for posting my website. You can view the Shields blurb there. And again, it's available wherever books are sold.